Hi, I'm Maggie from maggiescrochet.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do the chainless foundation working a half double crochet stitch. And there's another video that I did that's for the single crochet stitch, and then I'm going to do another video on YouTube that'll be the double crochet. So right now in this one I'll show you the half double crochet, and I recommend that you watch all of them so you get an idea, and definitely start with the single crochet one because that's probably the one you'll be using the most. So these samples here were done in the traditional chain, and then work in the third chain from hook and work the half double crochets across the foundation chain. And I think I'm going to do another video where I time myself on how long it takes me to do the same amount of stitches using the traditional way where you chain and work the stitches back on the foundation chain versus the chainless foundation, because I think this is a lot quicker. I like it, actually. I never used to like it, but I really like it. So anyway, these tend to be, the chainless foundation tend to be looser. Sometimes crocheters, they make too tight of a foundation starting chain and their work pulls in, and I think that would be prevented with this chainless foundation. The way I work back on my chain, I work in the back bar, so it creates a nice little row of loops, but the chainless foundation does the same thing. So it's nice to have this kind of a finish on the bottom when you have to sew pieces together, so you can just match loop to loop. So this came from a request from Rebecca Summers Kramer on Facebook. So I'm doing a whole series of chainless foundation stitches to help her and to help other crocheters. And this can be replaced in your patterns, like if it just says chain 90 double crochet in the second chain from hook, and it usually gives you a stitch count at the end of the row. Well, all you have to worry about is how many double crochets or single crochets or half double crochets do I need at the end of row 1, and just work that many, because this works the complete stitch of the row one at a time. So you just do the 90 or whatever. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. So anyway, so you can replace this for the traditional way the patterns are written. So anyway, let me get started. I think it helps if I use rope to show you how this is done. Let me see. Okay, so you start with a slip knot. I make a loop. I take the top loop, the top strand, and I bring it across the back halfway through. It looks like a pretzel, and I pull that back strand through. I have a knot side and a slip side, and I'm tightening the knot side, and then the slip knot I'm pulling down and I'm putting on my hook, just like this. Okay, so for a half double crochet you need a chain 3. In a single crochet you needed a chain 2, but for the half you need chain 3. So there's my 3 chains. So you notice that you've got the part of the chain is like the loop that goes around. It's like an I shape, like an oval. Some call it a V. And then there's a strand that comes through the middle, and they're all the same. Like they have a loop and a strand and a loop and a strand. Okay, so for this you are going to yarn over. You're going to go underneath the 2 top strands, so right in there. And then you're going to yarn over, draw that up, and normally if you were working into your foundation chain at this point, this chain would be really long and you'd be yarning over and drawing through all 3 to complete a half double crochet. But you need to create the chain underneath the stitch, so that's why you're going to chain 1 first, just like this, and that creates the chain underneath the half double crochet. So now you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3, and that creates the half double crochet on top of the foundation chain. So when you chain one, that's right here. When I chained one, that created the chain underneath the half double crochet, and you see right here, this is a half double crochet stitch, and this is the foundation chain underneath it. It's really cool. So you're kind of like working sideways, like your row is going to land up being like this across, but you're actually working it from this side up. So now to do the next one, you yarn over again, and this time that chain that you did there, you need to go in there, but you also need to pull this loop right here. You know that loop that comes out of the center right there? You're going to catch that loop too. Just like we went underneath the 2 chains here. Well, you're going underneath those 2 chains there. The one that came up out of the center of that chain and this one right here. So you're going to yarn over. I'm going underneath those 2. And then I'm going to pull. See, I've got 2 strands there. And if you look like in the back, it's like this strand and then the one right behind it right there. And then you pull a loop up. And then you have to do the chain that's going to be underneath your half double crochet stitch. So you chain 1 there, and then you yarn over and complete your stitch. So you're going to go through all 3 right there. Okay, so now I've got 2 half double crochets on my foundation chain right here. I'm going to tighten up my starting chain right here. So right here you can see I have 2. Well, actually, I have 3. I think this counts as 1 because I chained 3 in the beginning. Okay, so I have 1 here, the turning chain, 2, and 3. I didn't have that when I did my sample for my single, so I didn't realize that that would be there. But I do now. So I'm still learning all this stuff. I'll be learning until my career is over. Okay, so now you want to go under, like you can see that long strand right there. That's the strand you want to go into. So you're going to go in there, and the one right behind it I've yarned over. I'm going to go there, go to the one behind it. I'm underneath 2 on the bottom. And then I'm going to draw that loop out. And then I'm going to yarn over, draw through 1, and then yarn over, if I can get that yarn over, and draw through all 3. Okay, so now I have the turning chain right here, and I've got 1, 2, and 3. And underneath, I have that loop right here, 2, 3, and 4. So up here I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, I'll just keep doing it until you get the hang of it. Now it's easy to see this strand down here, but you have to make sure, because if you only go in this strand, you're going to have a big hole down here. So by going in the one behind it also, you see it, actually if you turn it over you can see it good. So you have 2 loops here, you just have to be underneath those 2 loops. So if you were working on the underside of this, you could see that very clearly. So those are the 2 you need to be under. So if you need to turn it over and look at it from the bottom so that you can see those 2 loops, that's what you're looking at. That's what you need to go in right there. Okay, so you need to be under those 2. Yarn over, draw that out like that. Yarn over, draw through 1. You have to create the chain underneath the stitch. And then yarn over and finish your half double crochet stitch like that. Okay, so there's the next one. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you just keep going. Like if your pattern said chain 12 half double crochet in the 3rd chain from hook, and in each chain across, then you would have 11, or I think 10 or 11 half double crochet stitches. So in place of that, you would just do 10 or 11 here, whatever you needed for that first row. So I'll do it one more time, but I think you should have it by now. Okay, yarn over. I'm gonna go, if I turn my work over, I can see the two strands that I need to go in. That one and that one. I'm gonna yarn over, draw that loop out. It won't be this hard for you, it's just I'm working with rope, so. Yarn over, I have to create this chain underneath the stitch to replace that foundation chain. So I'm going to chain one, yarn over, and draw through all three. That's it. And then when you go on to your next row, let's say you had another row of half double crochets, you would chain two and turn, and that would count as your first half double crochet, and then just crochet like normal into the stitches, because you've got the two loops like you normally have on the top. Isn't that cool? So you just continue on as normal. Awesome. Okay, so that's how you do a chainless foundation for a half double crochet row. Thank you for watching. I want you to subscribe to my channel. As soon as new videos come out, you'll be notified. And I hope that you shop with us at maggiescrochet.com. Thank you so much for watching.